So I've been rethinking how I do my TBRs, and I know in the grand scheme of things, it's not the end of the world if I don't complete a TBR or a reading goal. I know there are much bigger problems out in the world, but I wish I could just do it, you know? Like, like once. I guess I just want reading to be a part of my everyday life, and I hate how it can just get pushed aside so easily for different things. I also just have so many books that I want to read, and I just can't get to all of them. And I don't know why it's making me so disappointed and melancholy, but if I'm being honest, it kind of is. So basically, where I'm at right now is that I am still trying to complete my Q2 TBR of this year, the books that I wanted to read in the second quarter. And it is now nearing the end of July, which is the first month of the third quarter. And it's just become a little too much. So I've decided to take a couple books off that I was going to read in the second quarter. They were books that were kind of slowing me down, and I think it was just kind of getting too much of the same thing. Plus, there were so many other books that I was going to read after those that I've been most excited to read personally. So I think just focusing on the books that I'm really excited to read, I think will hopefully get me through this little reading slump that I'm on. Although I don't even know if it's a reading slump, but it feels like it is. Because I am reading, it's just going by really slowly. But in addition to that, I have also taken off some books from my Q3 TBR just so I can give myself kind of this month to catch up on things and then hopefully be able to finish out the quarter strong with my actual TBR for that quarter. So this is where I keep my current TBR books. I know, super fancy. We are in my studio right now underneath my desk. I keep them here because I'm just kind of in this room a lot, and I do a lot of reading in here and before I go to bed in my bedroom, which is just across the hall. So it's just kind of easier to have them here. Plus, I like the visual reminder of how many books I have left and just kind of seeing what's ahead for me on my reading journey. And yeah, I've just kind of found it a little helpful. I don't really want to give up on TBRs just yet. I know some people don't like them, and I'm making this very dramatic video showing how I've struggled with them. I feel like it does keep me on track, and it is a nice reminder to just kind of read. I know that seems kind of silly, but I just feel like I have a lot of interest, and sometimes I just need little to-do lists to remind myself to do the things that I really enjoy, or else I just kind of forget about them and just kind of let them slide by, and I don't want to do that anymore. I know I've been falling behind a lot, and it is kind of hard seeing everyone online, or what it appears to be people who read like 100 books a year and just have these huge stacks of books they read in a month. And I just can't compete with that. And I've known I can't compete with that, but I do feel like my initial goal of reading one book a week is very doable. And I guess I'm still trying to find that rhythm to keep myself doing that, because a lot of times what happens is I'll keep that up for a couple weeks and then sometimes I just need, I don't know, maybe a little break. I don't know, but maybe I could figure out a way where I don't have to take so many breaks. And I also think that falling behind, I feel pressure to read more than I want, and that pressure and the feeling of needing to read all these books in a short period of time makes me just not want to read. And that does create kind of a vicious cycle. But I do think that there is a world where I can keep up with my reading goals, make reading goals, stick to them, and without just feeling behind. And now that we got that out of the way, let me show you my Q3 TBR, which this TBR I've been excited to read all year long. I have discovered that I am a seasonal mood reader, which means I really like to read books that connect with the current season in one way or another. I think it just makes me feel a little bit more connected to the world, even when I'm trying to escape from the current world. So as we get into the fall season, I am going to read some cozy fantasy with more so witchy vibes, witchy cozy fantasy. Back in 2023, I feel like I picked up the book The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sanju Mandana, and I absolutely loved it. I picked it up when I was doing just some sort of fall book haul and saw it all over TikTok, and just it was recommended to me, so I read it and I just had so much fun reading it. And I hadn't really read any cozy fantasy. I just kind of was learning the term. I feel like cozy fantasy really did just pick up a couple years ago, even though there's probably books that fall under that category that go back decades. But it's the book that really caught my attention, and it made me want to read more books like it. So last year, I started picking up a lot of what you would probably consider cozy fantasy books. Specifically, again, witchy cozy fantasy books. I don't know what was going on, what was in the air. I just kept getting all these books recommended to me on TikTok, and I just kept seeing all these books at stores, and I just picked them up. But I didn't have any time to read them last year, and I really wanted to save them to read them for the fall, so that is what I'm doing here. So we first have The Honey Witch by Sydney J. Shields, and this book is about a protagonist, Marigold, who goes with her grandmother to train as the Honey Witch. But she discovers that there is a price to this power, that no one can fall in love with the Honey Witch, which she's fine with. But then a grumpy skeptic shows up on her doorstep, and Marigold can't resist the challenge to prove her that magic is real. And this book has shown up on a lot of lists for LGBTQ couples and romances, and I thought it'd be really cool to check this out. And then the next book is Can't Spell Treason Without T by Rebecca Thorne. This book features another lesbian relationship. Basically, the couple kind of runs away during a revolution and decides to set up this tea shop. Honestly, sounds like the perfect fantasy, not gonna lie. Just hearing about this book and reading the back cover, it just seems so cute and sweet, and I'm so excited to read it. Next, we have The Witch is Back by Sophie H. Morgan. So this witch gets left by a man she's in a relationship with and decides to just move on, and she goes off living a mundane life until he comes back into her life and asks for her back. So it seems like this book is him trying to win her back. Will he succeed? I don't know. I guess I will find out soon. Then we have The Spell Shop by Sasha Beth Durst. So I've seen so many people on TikTok read this book and just gush over it and talk about how adorable it is. So I'm just really excited for that. Basically, this librarian kind of runs away during a revolution and eventually opens a spell shop, and there's this romance. It just seems like there's just so many things in here that I'm just so excited to read. Plus, there is purple sprayed edges, which is just everything I love. It's such a beautiful book. I love it so much, and I'm so excited to read it. Then the last cozy fantasy book I have the Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. So this witch puts a hex on her ex-boyfriend when they break up and doesn't really think anything of it until years later when she realizes that there were some consequences to that hex. She has to work with her ex-boyfriend to kind of solve some problems that have happened because of it and just deal with the consequences of the hex. This sounds like such a cute concept. Plus, this illustration reminds me so much of the Sabrina the Teenage Witch animated series. I just really love the look of this book, and I'm just really excited to read it. So those are the books that I really want to get to this quarter. Like I'm not even gonna allow myself to just not, because I have to read those books. But this next category I'm really hoping I can get through is actually its own series, and it is the Wicked series. Now, I fell in love with the movie when it came out last year, and I have never seen the Wicked musical in person on stage performed, but I am familiar with the music of it even before the movie came out. And I just really want to dive into everything Wicked, especially before the new movie comes out this November, I believe. So I picked up the 4 books in the original series, and then there's also this Elfie prequel that I thought was really cute seems really interesting, and I picked that up as well. And side note, I am very aware that the book is very different than the movie or the Broadway show, and that there's a lot more added into the book and a lot more mature themes discussed. So heads up to anyone who loved the movie and is interested in reading it in book form, especially if you are on the younger side. Just be aware of that. Just be aware that it is different, and I'm aware of that, and I'm just really curious to experience the book as its own thing. So this is my Q3 TBR. I do still kind of feel like this is a little ambitious, especially since I have so many other books to read as well before I even get to this. But I think with these books, I'm just so excited to read them. I'm so excited. I've been looking forward to reading these books all year long. So I'm hoping that that will give me enough momentum to get through this quarter with completing this TBR. Plus, I'm also okay with if I can't finish the entire Wicked series before October. If I can finish it before the second movie comes out, I will count that as a win. As we go into the second half of the year, the second half of 2025, just know that if you are also falling behind on your reading goals and are not completing your TBRs, you're not alone. It's okay. This year has been a little crazy, probably for all of us. And so if you're not reading every day, I wouldn't beat yourself up on it, because I'm trying not to do that to myself. I think if you love reading and you're making it a part of your life, no matter how often you do it or how fast you read or how slow, whatever, that doesn't matter. But if you're making time for it in a way that makes sense for your life, then I think you're on the right track. And I'm going to take that advice and message to heart, or at least try to, as I try and finish out this year. Basically, we all just want to make time for the books we love. Doesn't matter if we're a year behind, when they came out, when TikTok was talking about them, when they were trending, it doesn't matter. As long as we're reading them, as long as we get to them, we can get to them together. Thank you for watching this video. Right now I am kind of brainstorming some ideas for different kinds of videos for this channel and kind of different things I want to do with the Darling Little Writer brand. So let me know if there's anything that you specifically want to see, you want me to expand on. I'm also trying to throw in some more writing content there as well, because I do feel like I am a writer first and reader second. So stay tuned for more videos. You can also follow my socials. You can find me Darling Little Writer on both TikTok and Instagram. Let me know your reading goals down in the comments, how you're doing on them this year, and I'll see you in the next video.